Michael is in court to claim £75 for the cost to replace his toy helicopter, which his father crashed at Christmas. Defendant Martin admits he crashed the helicopter, but as it was an accident, he says he owes nothing.
Now, do I have Michael here?
Yes, Judge.
Splendid. And is it Martin?
Yes, Judge.
And who are you with, Martin?
My wife, Sue.
Sue, do step forward. Goodness me, I saw you, I have to tell you. I can see you there, Martin. It's a wonderful thing, it's Christmas, and who knew that Elvis was alive? And there's your son over there. Now, Dad's got a number of hobbies, correct?
Yes.
In addition to various things, what's his chief hobby?
He's an aviation enthusiast.
An aviation enthusiast?
Yes.
In other words, he's flying all the time,
He loves aeroplanes and helicopters and things, yes.
Do you have a helicopter licence, sir?
I don't.
What licence do you have?
I don't have any kind of licence at all, but I flew a lot when I was younger.
Well, I did as well. You mean you've been on a plane?
Well, I used to work at an aircraft museum, and I used to restore vintage aeroplanes.
Did you fly in the vintage aeroplanes that you restored?
One or two of them, yeah. Well, yes, I did, yes.
Well, does it work in a museum? It doesn't mean that you can fly a plane. That's
No, but I went up as a passenger.
Understood. You're a flying enthusiast.
I am.
Is that right, Sue? Is he a flying enthusiast?
Yes, Judge.
What other enthusiasms does he have? The clean ones, please, madam.
He plays guitar. He loves cameras.
Understood. Does he like, just out of interest, does he like Elvis?
Yes, rather keen on Elvis as well.
Do you do any impersonations?
I do. It's my full-time job.
Oh, splendid. Well, there's a lot of work in that area, thank goodness.
There is.
Let's have a look.
OK. I'm not...
I can't tell you, as I'm looking at that, the only thing I can think of... Goodness me, he hasn't got his blue suede shoes on.
There is a story behind that, but I won't go into it now.
Oh, thank you so much. It's the afternoon and I've just eaten my mince pie. Goodness me. There you are. Now, whatever the story is, in addition to doing your full-time work, you also have other enthusiasms. And I'm going to ask you, Sue, because am I right that at home he's got a bit of a penchant for collecting things? What does he collect?
Well, he likes his gadgets.
He likes his gadgets?
Yes, he has remote controls for turning on lights, for turning on, closing and opening curtains, turning on the flashes when in the studio that we run.
So he's constantly reaching for things to turn it on?
Basically, yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah.
What is it about remote controls that you like, sir?
I'm not sure, really. I just love controlling things that happen somewhere else. It's just a hobby. I've always liked that kind of thing.
Is it the sense of power that you get, sir?
Quite possibly.
Understood. Now, is it just remote controls? I mean, do you have one of these, what do they call them? PlayStations, that sort of thing? Do you have one of them?
We do have one in the house, but...
And are you at home? I'll ask your wife. Is he at home constantly fiddling with his joystick?
He doesn't play with a PlayStation. He has other playthings.
I understood. Now, here's the thing. Dad's an enthusiast for all things aircraft, and you, sir, were sent an email because Dad suggested a present. Am I right?
That's right, yes.
What was the present he suggested?
It was a remote-controlled toy helicopter.
Did you want the helicopter?
I had my heart set on a drone, which is much more expensive, but it's got more features on it.
Understood. You wanted a drone, and Dad said, well, I'm not sure a drone is a good idea, but how about a helicopter? And you agreed, right?
It seemed like a good entry-level point into flying, because I never had a flying toy before.
Understood. Now, sir, did you buy it for your son?
I did.
How much was it?
It was reduced from £150 down to £75.
Did you get the present?
I did.
Was it for Christmas?
It was, yes.
And what did you get your dad in return?
A chocolate bar.
So you got a flying machine worth £70 and you bought your dad a bar of chocolate?
To be honest with you, it was kind of a running joke in our family. I got him the same shaped chocolate bar every year. It's kind of a running joke we have.
Now, he bought you this helicopter.
Yes.
Did you open it?
I did.
Were you thrilled with it, or did you still want the drone?
A little bit of me still wanted the drone, but I was very pleased to have it, and I've never had a toy like that before, and I was very pleased to have it, yes.
Now, just to be clear, sir, you know, it's difficult to know... How old are you?
27.
It's difficult to know what to get a 27-year-old or a 26-year-old, so challenging. And he thought a toy chopper would be just it.
Absolutely.
You opened it.
I did.
I presume you wanted to fly it yourself, correct?
Absolutely, yes.
What happened next, sir?
I suggested that we wait till the following morning because it was obviously dark outside, and we fully charged the batteries, read the instructions, but Dad was just too enthusiastic. He just wanted to fly it there and then.
What time of night was this?
About 8 o'clock.
And what happened next?
We went out into the garden. One of the batteries was at 50% charge, so sufficient to fly. I very briefly read the instructions of what the controls do, and I was very reluctant, but Dad made me give him the controls.
Made you? Let's be clear. How on earth did you get your hands on the control to your son's chopper?
Well, Judge, I tried to point out that I had more aeronautical experience and flying, and I thought I would show him how it works first before I let him at the controls.
Well, how are you going to show him that? You've had some background, as I understand it, working in museums, but you've never operated one of these before.
No, but it's a gadget, and I like to think I knew more about gadgets than he did.
And a bit of flying experience. Haven't you been, in addition to this chopper, haven't you been in a chipmunk or something?
I have, yes, I've flown...
I mean the planes.
Yes.
You've flown them a couple of times. How many flying hours?
15, 20.
15 or 20. So there you are, you read the instructions. Did you give your dad permission to have a go?
Reluctantly, yes.
Well, reluctantly. He didn't hold you down and grab it out of your hand, correct?
Not quite, no.
No, this was a gift. It wasn't a mugging.
Yes.
You took the controls, you read the instructions, you were standing there, you gave him permission. Were you around?
I was around. They took the helicopter into the garden, obviously, so they could fly outside. I stayed in the kitchen in the warm,
Probably
so I could
for the
watch
best.
through the glass.
Understood.
Yes.
Looking to see what would happen.
Yeah, you know.
Hoping nothing
Let the
would...
boys play with the toys.
Say that again?
Let the boys play with the toys. Yeah.
Very wise.
Yes,
Yes.
I thought so.
Understood. What happened next, sir?
He had the controls. He just flew it up a little bit and down a bit to make sure the controls were kind of working. It was all working. And then he flew up and up and up and up until there was a small light on the bottom of the helicopter. So it became smaller and smaller as it went further and further away.
That'll happen, yes.
Yes.
And then?
Well, it went up quite high, higher than I really thought it was going to go. I thought I'd bring it down slightly, so I knew the right-hand stick would move it in a certain direction, so I did the other stick to bring it down. But as it started to come down, it went above the house, so we couldn't see it. So we then had to run into the field next to the house, by which time it had flown off a bit further.
It had gone!
Well, not quite, because from the field we could just see this little blinking red light, and it was getting further away. And I thought if I could turn it round, then we could fly it back.
Could you turn it around?
No.
No! People near the other field reported a UFO around Christmas.
Coming next.
Do you think you owe him that money?
Not really, no. I think it was the fault of the helicopter rather than me. So I don't think I did anything wrong.
Please can I also point out, Judge, that it was also my loss of enjoyment, and I spent my Christmas evening looking in the dark for this helicopter.
Get in touch, because I'm waiting to hear your case. If you're 18 or over and would like to be considered for the show, text the word judge plus your name to 63334. Text costs 25 pence plus one standard network rate message. Or call 090 1122 3344. Calls cost 25 pence plus your network access charge. Or email judge@itv.com. Please note we are unable to consider claims that have been or are currently in court.
Michael is in court to claim £75 for the cost to replace his toy helicopter, which his father crashed at Christmas. Defendant Martin admits he crashed the helicopter, but as it was an accident, he says he owes nothing.
So it disappeared, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
There you are. Missing in action, no black box. What did you do then, sir?
Well, my first thought was if it's come down somewhere, maybe in a country lane, a car could crash into it, or it may have hurt someone. We'd better go and look for it.
That's the point, to be serious. You live very near to fields, but I'm right to say, aren't I, the chances are it's possible that this could have come down on somebody else's roof, correct?
Yes, Judge.
That's why it wasn't a sensible thing to fly this thing at night time. Wouldn't you agree, sir?
I agree, Judge, now.
Wouldn't you agree, sir?
Absolutely.
Wouldn't you agree, madam?
Of course.
It was a...
I assumed he would wait until the morning.
Yes.
But of course...
Just wait for a second, this is my Christmas. And why would you wait till the morning?
Well,
madam?
then it's daylight and you can see where it's going.
And therefore it's not what?
Dangerous, yes, exactly.
And it could be dangerous.
It could be dangerous.
That's why I have to tell you, there are going to be new regulations in respect of drones. They can be very dangerous indeed, and there are strict guidance and guidelines as to when they can be flown. Never mind, it was dark. What happened next?
We went down the country lanes for about an hour, looking in trees and in hedges, trying to see if that blinking light was still on. That's the only hope of finding it, really.
Where is this in the UK, out of interest?
It's in St Albans, Hertfordshire.
Right, it's Hertfordshire, the two of you look. This is like sort of St Albans' answer to the X-Files. What happened next?
We carried on searching, and after about an hour, we realised we weren't going to find it. We had a vague idea of which direction it would be. We decided to wait till morning.
You went to bed, got up the next morning. Did you find it?
Eventually, yes, we did.
And where was it?
It crashed into a nearby field, and it was more or less in pieces and covered in mud.
Well, thank goodness nobody was injured. Let's have a look at the photograph. What?
That's a very rough flight plan.
Now, was it usable again, sir?
No, it completely crashed.
Destroyed, ruined. So you're suing Dad, given the fact he gave this to you, it was your property, for how much, sir?
£75.
Do you think you owe him that money?
Not really, no. I think it was the fault of the helicopter rather than me. So I don't think I did anything wrong, but the thing is the helicopter had the red light on the bottom, and if it was like a fixed-wing aeroplane, you get a green light as well. That way you know which way it's pointing. But seeing as there's only one red light, I think it's a fault. And therefore you didn't know which way it's pointing and it just disappeared.
Please can I also point out, Judge, that it was also my loss of enjoyment, and I spent my Christmas evening looking in the dark for this helicopter. That's my big present of the year, gone.
Anything you'd like to add, madam?
Well, obviously I can see both points of view, but I agree. Had the helicopter had 2 lights or even 3 lights on, it would have been easier to spot and see which direction it was flying in. But saying that, he doesn't read instructions anyway, so it was going to happen, wasn't it?
That'll be the answer, yes. Now, is there any price you'd like to put on your enjoyment, sir?
It's priceless, but the helicopter itself is £75.
Splendid. Now, Martin, your dad gave you a present. It's your property.
Yes.
And consequently, had he just damaged it, you'd be entitled to that money back if he'd damaged it negligently. The difficulty in this case is that you had given him clear permission to use that helicopter in circumstances where the two of you knew or ought to have known that it was dangerous, certainly that there was a risk that the thing was going to be ruined. What's more, I have to be clear, there was also a small risk to other people's property too. In the circumstances, therefore, because he didn't force you to give it to him, you're not entitled to recover anything back from him. So I'm awfully sorry. This court has to dismiss your claim. But nevertheless, wishes you the very, very best of luck moving forward. And what was it that Elvis would say, sir?
Oh, I'm sorry I gave you a blue Christmas, baby.
Case dismissed. Best of luck.
Michael's claim was dismissed, and he was awarded nothing by the court. Let's find out how both parties felt about the judge's ruling.
The problem is that the controls are more closely resembling a games console, which I have much more experience in. I really think I should have gone first.
That's a fair comment, but I'm your father and, you know, you should listen to me more.
I do feel a bit shortchanged, if I'm honest with you. I think that the judge should have seen my point of view in that it was my present, and I did advise my dad that he should take more care, especially flying at night.
Well, what you don't want to do with the children is give them a blue Christmas. I have a blue Christmas without you.
He has got a toy drone since then, and he has actually crushed it as well. He's clearly irresponsible with flying aircraft.
On a green Christmas tree won't be the same.
If you buy a toy for your children, you should let them have the first go. It's common sense.
I have a blue Christmas. Make sure you don't have a blue Christmas, baby. Thank you very much.
We've a chance for you to relive England's World Cup journey to the semi-finals in Russia later.